Gibby, where are we? I have no idea what's going on, Gibby.
We are in the Lindis Construction booth, or I would say room. I would to be studio. Lindis Construction studio for Scribbing. I mean, I can't wait to deck this place out. I mean, we've got some awesome stuff on the wall here, but
it's brand new.
It is brand new.
From the Justin Livestream Network Studios.
We're going to change that.
And Gib.
It says Justin Livestream Network Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll change it.
Yeah.
Justin Livestream something, though. We got to keep.
Yeah, we got it.
I was just wondering, though, and we were asking that. Did you notice? Was this guy just staring at the lights? You were. Hey, the lights.
Where am I, guys?
Where am I? Somebody tell me.
I'm in a room.
Gibby's lost. You want to talk about a Gibby that was lost? That was Gibby lost on the golf course last Friday.
He had a moment.
Lost.
Lost. Like
Our team.
I know your team won,
Moose,
but you
I'm
were
just wondering
you
what
were
we
lost.
What did we shoot? Pretty
we
sure we
two
were
red,
two
weren't
red
we?
and 9 holes.
Right.
For us, that's pretty darn good.
I know, but you
I'm
were
not
lost.
sure what
Like
you.
we didn't know what you were doing.
Nah,
Come on.
good
But
contact.
I will tell you one thing that we know. The Tigers are 6-0, guys.
Yes, we are, and ranked. What?
I don't know. We don't talk about
we
rankings.
don't talk about rankings?
Nah, we don't talk about rankings.
I'm going to talk about some rankings.
Well,
Why don't you ever want to talk about
I don't know.
rankings?
It doesn't matter.
I
Well,
still think being ranked 6th in the state is pretty awesome. I'm
I-
just going to say it.
Well, I was
Just gonna
at
say.
by via Max Preps, but I'm going to tell you guys what. There was a football game last Friday, and it was awesome. It was up there in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Our Tigers are heading up there, or went up there last week, 5-0. Warriors are 5-0. Defending state champs haven't lost in 18 games dating back to week 1 last year.
I know, it's unbelievable.
And it was homecoming.
Oh,
Give me what
weird.
happens when you schedule the Tigers for homecoming.
You monkey slap them, and that's exactly what we did. I tell you what, I'm just glad that the guys know that when people want to schedule you on their homecoming, some people didn't know that. They might have just thought it was by coincidence that we've been playing on people's homecomings lately. Not the chance. Not it. But I will say this, we're playing Menominee. They're pretty darn good, too, and we're playing them on our homecoming. But anyhow, back to the game on Friday.
That was a great environment up there. I mean, it was awesome. Like, we kind of talked about it on the previous podcast. You can't ask for anything better. 2 teams undefeated in the Big Rivers. 2 teams undefeated for the season, right? And I think both teams have gotten there a little bit different. So what I mean by that is that Tigers started out a little bit slower, right, against Marshfield. You know, you fast forward to 5 weeks, we're 6-0. Warriors coming up to state championship. Returned a lot of guys playing really, really good. And you can see it was all hyped up. The crowd was packed. There was tons of Rice Lake people. It was like, can you allow some rooms for
I heard that was a little bit of something going on in the crowd.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
If anybody from Rice Lake, can you just understand that there's opposing fans need to sit?
Right.
And I get it, right? I think being in the Big Rivers, a bigger conference, like I know they've been there before, but sometimes you at least got to allow the opposing team to sit somewhere.
Right.
Because otherwise, we're not going to allow anybody to sit here. But that's not how New Richmond is. But just figure that one out. But it's kind of weird. I just don't get it. But, man, it was a packed stadium. Everybody wandering around, walking, watching. Great atmosphere. Great game. Great ending.
Oh, yeah, and it was unbelievable how back and forth it went. And there was a certain time in that game, especially like in the third quarter, where I didn't know how things were going, right, for us. We got some things to go our way. But I tell you what, as soon as we started gaining a little bit momentum, Scrib, back in our favor, I would say like the beginning of the fourth quarter, I started seeing quite a few Rice Lake Warriors hands going on their hips, especially on the defensive and offensive line. And I think when you have guys that are going both ways, and I know we talked about that during the game on the live feed, that we're going to wear you down.
Yeah, and I think what's, kind of what you're talking about, right? Like you said, we jumped out to that 13-6 lead. We had the momentum. We had a miscue on a punt, and that kind of flipped the game. It flipped the script for a while, right?
A little bit, yep.
They were able to go in and score on the short field, 10-yard. On 4th down, I think, if I remember
right. It was
right.
on 4th down.
And that just kind of stalled it for the Tigers. And then they got going, scored in the third quarter, right away, 22-13. And it was like, can the Tigers come back? They hadn't been down by much.
Right.
The only other time they had been down was to the Hudson when they were down 14-13.
Yep.
So it was different, but then that end of that third quarter drive when Hepner scores it to go up, to get it to 22-20, I'm with you. The tide was turning. You could see the guys, they were tired for Rice Lake. And remember what we do? we just throw out 11 more guys.
Well, and the thing about it is, too, going back to, because every sport, I think, is really about a game of momentum. But you talk about the Tigers when we went for it on fourth down. I believe it was on our 40.
Yeah.
Right?
39, I think.
39, yeah, it's 39 or 40. And when they hit Carter Comro for the first catch of his career so far on varsity, I believe, for that first down. I think he ended up getting like 11 yards or something like
11,
that.
yep, 11.
Yeah, I think he had 11 yards, got the first down. Then all of a sudden it was like, dang, right? Like, we thought we were getting off, and it couldn't get off the field. And then he had another big catch down the middle, and then we ended up scoring. So that to me, just really started to get that momentum going.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think on that drive we had 2 fourth down catches. I think Aiden Eckert had that big one. He got a little dinged up.
Yep, it's on the same drive, I believe, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was huge, right? I mean, just momentum is building. And then when the big old line starts feeding,
Yeah.
just let them go to Eatontown, man.
Yep,
They were just rolling.
I know, it was awesome. There was usually, boom, you could see him get that initial push, and then you get Hepner back there, and he's so good at just kind of picking a hole in and going, right? And Austin Whittick, same way. They kind of have a very similar running style, but, man, you could tell the push was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when Joe busted that one off the left side of the line there, and just did a very smart thing and sat on the turf and let the clock run out. So
yeah, and I talked to Joe last night. I saw him, and I'm like, man, Joe, what do you think of that 2-yard carry you had that ended in 9 yards? And he goes, yeah, the old line was just carrying me. And it was kind of funny because it's what it was, right? He kind of hit that, installed, and then you just saw the momentum.
Yeah.
He kept his legs pumping. Everybody kept pushing, and next thing you know, it was literally a 2-yard defensive stop.
Yep.
That led into a 9-yard carry. I mean, it was great. The O-line is just churning, and, man, those guys are having fun. I saw the big behemoth himself, short but big, Cole Stevens last night. Talked to him. How did you get in there and get? He goes, I knew they were going to cut block me, and I just got lower, and I grabbed his ankle.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, that was a huge turning point, too, right?
That was a huge turning point in that football game.
Because that was 2nd and 1, and then it was 3rd and 6.
Yep.
And we got another yard, and then it's 4th and 7, and then big Cole Stevens come down, swaps the ball out of there, turnover on downs.
Yep.
And then the rest is the final drive, another 3.5 minute, and just progression, right? Getting those first downs, they could not stop it. And you talked about it during the cast, too, right? During the live stream. Hey, the last 4 or 5 plays, they were all out run blitzing, basically.
They were. Yeah, they're blitzing everybody.
If you wanted to attempt it, it gets really hairy, right? Like, do a little ball fake, pump it over the middle, but
then you stop the clock, and it just
correct.
that'd be a really bad deal.
The thing that was fun is you're bringing 11 guys, and we're blocking as many as we can, and we're still getting positive yards. It was huge. I mean, awesome game, fun game. But the thing about it is, now we're 6-0, and now it's our homecoming.
Yep, I know.
And Menominey's coming in, so it's going to be a great atmosphere. But hey, before we get to the upcoming game against Menominee, what is your Vital System Stats Player of the Game?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. Because we talked about it. I would say the Tiger defense. I have to say that, and I know that's kind of, we always kind of like to pick a player, but I did read the paper the next day that came out, or maybe it was the day after, that was the Eau Claire Leader, or maybe
Rice
it was
Lake Chronicle.
Rice Lake Chronicle. Yeah. Okay, and they said that's the best defense we'd seen in 3 years. So I'm like, yeah, they're going to get my vital statistics or stats of the game for sure.
Yeah, I'll give that too. I just want to note that runner-up, 25 carries for 133 yards, Joe Hepner. You know, kind of finished the game there on that last drive. So, but the defense we've talked about all year. Another showing by not one player. Like, you're not going to say. I mean, I talked about Cole Stevens, those consecutive plays basically, or 2 out of 3 plays in a row. What about D-Rock? What about Scribner with that big interception?
Yes, he went and high-pointed it.
Yeah,
again, it was awesome.
Very similar to the chip game. Guys making plays. Unger had like 8 or 9 tackles.
I think he had 9 tackles.
Yes.
He looked like a guided missile out there, which I just love when you guys flying around hitting people.
We got to get him a new name, like the Unger missile.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's multiple.
Yeah, now I'm getting you. The unguided missile, the Unger missile. There we go.
Man, you gotta
I got to explain this some color stuff out to you. I just wanted to slow it down. Wow. I know, you know what I mean? Like I had to slow it down.
Okay, guys, good job.
Yeah. All right, well, the thing is, the gauntlet is not done yet. We talked about the gauntlet 3 or 4 weeks ago. Chip, Hudson, River Falls, Rice Lake, Menominee. The gauntlet is coming to an end, but it's still here. We got the 5-1 Menominee Mustangs coming in. Their only losses to Rice Lake. They've been playing great. They They clipped Hudson in overtime, so it's another tough week for the New Richmond Tiger football team, and it's going to be a dandy. Homecoming, another beautiful weather, but I mean, they kicked off homecoming activities last night at the high school, the powder buff, the volleyball. The atmosphere was electric.
Yes, it was.
And it was fun to watch.
It was so fun. I was over there holding my breath going, just don't sprain an ankle or twist a knee or get a, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's all about that, right? I mean, you can't be
hold
like
him back
Moose. You
because of
can't
something
walk
like
around
that.
in high school with bubble wrap on you like Moosey did. Well, after he had all those zippers in his knees.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But anywho, yeah, no, it was super fun, and I'm really this is kind of this is a shout out to the administration. I think a lot of times, sometimes administrations want to say, well, we don't want to do that because it's this and that, and I think a little bit of that is just because they don't want to put the effort in. So what I'm going to say is I commend them giving our students an awesome high school experience.
Yeah, and all the coaches to allow the kids to play. Probably very, very nervous. I get it. I totally get it. I mean, I understand. I remember kind of talking to Bennett and just thinking like, guys, don't get hurt.
Right.
And I'm with you, but you can't hold back too. I mean,
you got to have fun.
You can, at the end of the day, you can get hurt in practice. You can get hurt walking to your car. You can get ran over. I mean, you just got to be smart. But you only get to do this once.
Yes.
Like these kids will remember. I know for the last 6 weeks have been phenomenal for these kids, right? Mm-hmm. Thinking about game one, I mean, just for us covering the game, it's been like, all right, how's this year going to turn out? And it's been just, boom, it's been fabulous.
Yep.
So I'm excited. But Menominee coming in, it's going to be a dandy. I'm excited. I'm truly, truly excited. What are you thinking here? I don't know what to say.
Well, I do, looking at the stats that they have, they're definitely, this will be our biggest test, I think, for our defense and through the air. They don't run the ball specifically very, very, really, really well. But if you take a look at, Isaac Ellison, sounds like he's a D1 recruit. So right now he's got 24 receptions for just a little bit north of 450 yards. Averages 93 yards a game. And I just, when you look at all their yards receiving, it's pretty impressive, at least versus some of the teams that we've played so far. They're big back on the ground right now. Is it Higby?
Higby, he's their big.
Higby. Okay, that's my app. Sorry, my eyes are a little bad. But yeah, I mean, he's their leading rusher right now with 314 yards. Compare that to Joe Hepner. He's over doubled that. So it's like, and then Whittick's right there with 421, and so Stelrick with a $160 so far. So I think we look like we're a bit more of a balanced team. I think they're a little bit more one-sided through the air. So I'll be excited for the challenge for sure.
Yeah, and I think just seeing a team, we talked about it. Can we get Rice Lake to throw the ball? Now I got to give a shout out to Jacob Coons, a very good quarterback, probably the best athletic quarterback we've seen. We talked about Homie from Hudson, his running ability, but Coons was able to escape multiple tackles in the backfield.
Yeah.
Holzbauer had him. Stevens had him. Scribner had, I think it was him or one of the guys, a couple times, at least for tackles for loss, was not able to bring him down. So, great quarterback. You're looking at here on the teams, on the player stats, the quarterback is not a big rusher, according to the stats so far. So, I think that'll be a difference, right? Like, Johnson, I don't expect to look to run. So, can their O-line hold up against our D-line? That's what I'm looking for. We got Rice Lake to throw. I think they made some plays because of on the legs of Coons, where I don't know if you're going to see that. Now, if our DBs, Byer, Munson, and our backside with Scribner and our linebackers, they can get after, do their job, and let the O-line feast. We haven't talked about Trevor Solon for a while. He doesn't like that.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to remind us of that after this game.
Love it.
I'm looking for a huge game out of the Trevor Solons, Jacob Holzbauers, Cole Stevens, Jamo, the unguided missile.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be guided this week on the quarterback.
I love it. No, I expect to see a lot through the air and us being able to control it on the ground. I think they've been giving up some yards on the ground as well. So. I can't wait. It's just we're going to get into our picks. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah. Moose, what do you got? You've been quiet over there. What do you got?
What do you got, Moosey?
Let's see. After last week's game, boy, it was a tough game, what you guys just talked about. We're going to go – I think the Tigers are going to come out homecoming. Hopefully they don't get too distracted, right? That's always a worry. I think we're going to start a little bit slow, but I think we're going to hit the 35 mark. I think our offense is going to get rolling. Definitely, and I think the Mustangs are going to find that. I'm typing these in as we go here too, boys. So, and I think that we're going to go. We're going to go. They're going to end up with 20 to 35 Tigers.
All right, 20,
20
35.
so 35-20 Tigers, huh?
Yep.
All right.
I think they might. I mean, I'm going to go 17. I think they could score. I'm going to go 28-17 Tigers.
Right, Scribby Bibby.
I'm just trying to think. I think they're going to tack one on the end. I've been kind of high on our offense. Scoring was late. We're looking really good. I love what we're seeing. I do think our defense, they gave up the most points last week. I think it was just a really tough matchup. Obviously, the turnover was huge. I'm going to say the defense is coming back in a big way, 35-14 Tigers. It's going to be a dandy.
So Giddy, 17-28, that's what you said?
Yep.
Old Moose, 20-35, and 14-35. All in favor of our New Richmond
Tigers! Woo! Homecoming,
Speaking
baby.
of Tigers, what about some other Tigers stuff going on? I do know that the girls' tennis team beat Chippewa Falls 5-2 last Tuesday. I want to get that out there, which is great considering. I mean, I know you had talked about us losing our number one singles, wasn't it?
Yeah, Lindsay Ritzer.
Yep, Ritzer.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Congratulations on that. It sounds like the Tigers soccer, if they win tonight, they will lock in the third spot for the conference. So, which is going into the playoffs is about where we thought we would be. So,
Yep.
They play tonight?
I thought it was tonight.
They play tomorrow night.
Is it tomorrow night?
Yes.
Maybe it's tomorrow night.
Rice Lake, I believe.
Okay, could have heard that wrong.
Check it out
Don't-
on check it out on Justin live stream. If you want.
Okay.
And I know that I'm looking for the results of the Tigers cross country. They did run last Saturday.
Okay.
So a couple days ago here in New Richmond at the New Richmond Invitational, I think they call it. So I was trying to get them results, but I always struggle with the cross country results. It's a little tough sometimes to find them, and I wasn't prepared.
It is a hard sport to try and find any results on for sure.
Yeah. Well, I can jump in. I'm pretty sure that Juliana would not want me to share a ton about the River Falls match. I think it was just one of those where we were off. Right. We've been trying some kids in some different positions, which is something. Right. We're trying to grow.
And
we're
River
trying to get
Falls
better.
is not a team to be off on typically.
Yeah. So, and yes, that's a very, very nice way to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean they're a great program. There will be a day where the same thing's going to be for the New Richmond Tigers to come in and have a bad
I think
day, and
we're
it's going to
taking
be
a step
long,
in that right
short night for
direction,
you.
right?
Right.
We have our training wheels on.
Yeah.
They're running the Tour de France.
Yeah. So and we're getting there. So awesome.
All right, here I do got the results up for the women's 5,000. First place, Mara Benedict, in 1842. Second place was Lila Bartels from Egan. So Kendra Christensen finished 8th for the Tigers at 1951, so that's exciting. So you had 2 Tigers in the top 10. I'm just going to kind of round this out here quickly, find the rest of the Tigers, because it's kind of curious, how they did, right?
Yeah.
And looks like Reese Nichols was 30th, Maddie Baldeck 35th, Katie Ebner 36, Afton Nelson 47, and Peyton Dawes 51. So, good showing by the New Richmond Tigers at their home meet against a lot of big schools.
I will throw this out there as well. In a positive light of the volleyball, they are having the New Richmond Volleyball Youth Night on Thursday night. So the performance from the New Richmond Youth Spikers, K through 4th grade. So it should be a fun time. Free entry to all 5th through 8th grade volleyball players if you wear your jersey to the game. So
That's awesome. I love when obviously running the basketball, we do that where, we get them season tickets year round. I mean, not year round, but just for the basketball games. It's really beneficial. I think the more kids you can get in there, the more of the youth you can get in to drive excitement.
sure.
It's what you want. So
Absolutely.
I agree with that. So I'm excited. I do believe volleyball. Is Menominee home this Thursday?
it's poster signing as well. So I just wanted to make sure to throw that out there because I know that that line gets long. So it's an awesome. And actually for the athletes, I'll be honest, it's pretty cool. I think they love to sign all those posters as well.
Yeah, and it's a perfect, right? You got homecoming activities almost every night of the week this week.
It is Menominee.
It
by
is
the way.
Menominee
Yes.
on Thursday, so that's fun. And then everybody turns back around and does it again. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
All right, that's your Tiger Fall Sports. So let's just get it. Let's get it out in the open. Moose, what do you got?
For what?
Probably the game yesterday. I thought we'd be coming into all this win.
No, you guys, I've tried that one year. It backfired on me. I don't even know what you guys are talking about anymore. I'm doing my job here. I'm producing. Notice I got some stuff going on. I did sit down and watch my first NFL game for the year for about half of it. I was busy doing some stuff around the house, single dad stuff. And it was, I'm not saying a word.
Well, it was terrible. I mean, I was probably.
It wasn't pretty.
It's
Vikings
28
fan,
rip, and I'm literally at a Packer gathering, and I was like, gosh, I just wanted to be home right now and do my tongue and groove because I got some work.
See, you got stuff to do at home.
I would have done it. I would have done it too, but I had to sit there because there was other people that were there that and then before it's like, okay, well, I'll start coming back. At least it was like decent to watch at the end, but
the ending was exciting. I just think for the Packers, you got to catch a few of those balls.
Yeah,
better.
We struggled. There was defensively, we struggled. Offensively, we struggled. One of Love's interceptions, I really can't pin directly on him and hit 2 Packers in the hands before it was intercepted. So, but it is. But I got to hand it to the Vikes. I don't want to take everything away from them. I mean, and everyone's talking about their off. How well Darnold's doing. Yes, I get that. How well, how good wide receivers. We haven't even got Hawkinson back. I get all that, but the thing I would have talked about yesterday was their offensive line.
Yeah,
because they are stout, and we weren't getting even close to them until about the fourth quarter. So Darnold's probably playing very well, but it's probably because he's getting protected. I mean, because obviously he's not an all-pro quarterback up to this point, but he's playing like it right now. And well, you give people some time to throw the football. I think that helps.
Yeah, that does, and I would agree too. And I think kind of what I've told a lot of people is, we're fine. We're 2-2, 13 more games left. I'm not that concerned. Do I think the Vikings are going to keep this up? I'll just be honest. No, I don't. I just think at the end of the day, we're going to be fine.
Yeah,
we just got to continue. Got to get, Love's got to get his knee healed to get us a little bit.
He was
more
a
of
little
that.
ginger on it.
Yeah,
I was surprised they didn't bring Malik in after a couple of those hits.
Yeah,
And especially when we were down 28 rip. I was like, I don't really know what we're going to try to get out of this. But
I was wondering the same thing. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun 14 more weeks of football, so it'll be exciting. But, hey, got to give them a shout-out. They're playing well. But let's talk about the other one. It's close. Wisconsin.
Ugh.
My words, we're up 21-10.
Do we have to talk about it? No,
And I was talking to Brenton. He's like, every one of the teams I cheer for, which was the Tigers, the Badgers, and the Vikings, they all had a muff punt.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, how is that even possible?
Oh, wow.
I mean, what is the odds on that?
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
it's the ones that he cheered for. Like, obviously, in those 3 games, I'm cheering for 2 out of the 3 teams, but he cheers for all of those teams that went against him.
Right.
It was just his thing. But it's getting to the point where I'm very, very frustrated. I ran into Jimmy Leonard's dad up at the game, and it's just frustrating knowing we had a guy that we thought would be the future of the Wisconsin football, and he never got a chance to run it his way.
Right.
And I think that's what I'm most disappointed in. At the same time, I was excited that, hey, Luke Fickell, I get it. If you're the AD, you got to try. I mean, hey, somebody brought in Barry Alvarez.
Right. Yeah, they took
it did.
Took a chance, and look how that panned out for us.
And I don't know if the Luke Fickell era is over. I mean, it's obviously not, but something's got to change. I mean, there is a huge disconnect between Fickell and Longo, I think.
Yeah, our offense is abyss.
And I don't know who's made. There's been some cryptic messages from Braylon Allen said something. You got Longo saying some weird thing. That's part of the problem. You're not on the same damn page, and it doesn't work, right? So to me, that's what frustrates me now is because you're a year and a half into this. And they tell me that, well, Paul Chris left the cupboard empty. Well, they still won with those teams.
Yeah.
He was 2-3 at that point when they fired him. And Jimmy got him to at least 500. I don't know if it was that empty.
Sure.
And I think sometimes it's your scheme, it's your offense. And what's going on now is not helping, right? It's not true Wisconsin football. But, hey, we got them playing Purdue this week. Hopefully they can bounce back. But our schedule doesn't get any easier.
I know. Well, let's strap it up. Let's go.
All right, that's this week's It's All About Homecoming.
It is. Let's go, Tigers. Come on, just keep your heads about, show up Friday night, and just finish the deal.
Well, the fun thing is, before we cut her loose here, just talking to, I talked to a lot of the players last night. They're low key.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny just talking to them. Like, they're just treating it like it is what it is. It's another game, and I love it. I think that's Reggie Larson, Coach Larson's mentality, the boys' mentality. It's exciting, but it's homecoming week. Let's go get it.
I can't wait.
All right, I'm Script.
And I'm Gib, and we got
Moose on the loose.